I'm really excited to be here. The social media that has been going on during this conference is amazing. So feel free to, there's my Twitter handle, tweet at Neil C. Hawkins as we go through this, because we're really trying to have a conversation. And I think there's some good ideas here that you'd like to work into your social media time. Now, first off, I have had a number of people ask me, what is that pin, this massive pin that you have on your chest? It's actually a Dow Olympics pin, and Dow is a partner with the Olympics, and we're actually the carbon neutrality partner with the Olympics for Sochi, and we did that in an innovative way. But that's not why I'm wearing the pin. This is a USA Luge pin, and the USA Lugers had not really won a medal in a while. And they came to us and said, Dow, you guys are a bunch of great engineers and material scientists. Can you help us develop a new sled? And we said, sure, we'll do it. Then we looked around and said, we've never designed a sled before. How do we do that? Now, and so we took it on, but both parties took risk there. Both parties said, we really want to get to a medal. Both parties were taking a leap of faith, right? And actually, at the end of the day, they did win a medal. So that's a good example of where I'm going with this. Courageous collaboration. Let me go back. Courageous collaboration. So we're trying to work in the idea that collaboration is not just an activity that happens. It's an activity that requires courage and moving forward together with parties. So I'm going to go through this very fast. 9 billion people are coming. You hear this all the time. The middle class is going to grow. Consumption's going up. And we have to protect the planet. So these are well-known concerns for sustainable development. But sustainable development is a team effort. It's something that requires all of us to become involved with. And I'd like to speak today about co-location, coexistence, coordination, cooperation, and collaboration. Okay, it's what I call a 5C model. So co-location, coexistence, coordination, cooperation, and collaboration. A 5C model. These are things that we are doing all the time as individuals and as organizations. We're the actors. So the individual organization you're in, you're doing co-location, coexistence, coordination, collaboration, all the time in different ways. But I want to dissect that down, because by having a framework, I think we can understand how we can do more good. So co-location is where you have, and we're all co-located on the planet, but if you look at two countries that are sitting there, they can either be at war or they can be at peace. They can be in peaceful coexistence or trying to annihilate each other. That is happening on the planet today, and that's a real barrier to sustainable development. So diplomacy is at play, trying to move everyone into coexistence, right? And so by and large, I would say all our respective organizations are in coexistence most of the time. And it's a decision not to harm each other, or a decision to leave each other alone. But that by itself is not going to do much for sustainable development. Okay, so we have to move from this mutual decision to leave each other alone into coordination. And coordination fundamentally is about efficiency. It's about having limited resources and making a decision to work together in order to more efficiently use those resources. One good example is water. If you have two organizations or two countries using the same body of water, they can time their withdrawals, okay, to get the most efficient use of that. You can have companies or governments do emergency response coordination. So it's a desire to get more efficient results out of the resources we have. And when you think about the sustainable development challenges, they require us to use our resources more efficiently. So coordination is a very key thing. Cooperation is a whole nother animal. Okay, cooperation is where you're starting with a mature system with coordination, but it's about growing a pie. It's about making more resource available, creating more prosperity, and still having the efficiency and effectiveness that you have in coordination. So let's just take that water example again. This would be a region making a decision that we're going to actually increase the amount of water and then efficiently use it. So you can take examples like water funds in South America. These are cooperative efforts where you're trying to grow the amount of resource. I would submit to this group, and many of you are involved with the Sustainability Consortium, I would say that cooperation is, that the TSC is one of the great examples of what I would call courageous cooperation. It's a desire to create more, to have growth across a value chain. And I hail the TSC, and I do like to cite it as a good example of cooperation. So let's go to collaboration. And that's the big one. That's the big kahuna. It's where we're all trying to get to because the challenges are so big. And this is fundamentally different from cooperation. Cooperation is very key. But in collaboration, a couple of organizations are approaching this and saying, there are huge breakthroughs needed, and neither of us have any idea how to get there. We both agree that we need to try, but we don't know how to do it. And so when two organizations work together to try to achieve a breakthrough goal, in the manner I'm talking about, they're putting their organizations more at risk. They're introducing an element of vulnerability. And that's very key because there's so much inertia in the system to do something like that, to introduce risk. It requires us to show personal courage. Organizations do not their organizations are not courageous themselves. Organizations behave courageously when they have courageous people. And that's really a key notion here. And if you look at the TNC Dow collaboration, and Mark Tursek will be joining up here in a few minutes, and he may mention it, there was a very strong element within that of putting both organizations in a more vulnerable position in order to reach a common objective of valuing ecosystem services and building it into business decision making. And there was a very strong element of individuals working within those two organizations to make it happen. I think it's really important that you put into context and look at where your organization's working, be it in co-location, okay, coexistence, coordination, cooperation, or collaboration. And if you think of it as a pyramid, collaboration does not happen very often. And I would submit to you that big cooperation does not happen very often. And you should all look for those opportunities and keep yourself open to the opportunities because you may only get that once in your career. So you need to be on the lookout and ready for those kinds of opportunities. So what is our role? And what do I ask of all of you? When you go back to the slide about the 9 billion, these are massive challenges. And I think we all agree that we're not going to solve them without really getting aggressive together. Okay, so think about your role within your organization and your organization's role within sustainable development. Define the opportunities that could fall into collaborations or cooperations. Develop allies. both within your companies, but also across the aisle with other organizations that you need to solve it. And do that proactively. Don't wait till it's time to have a collaboration. Be working on it. And be courageous. Okay, there's a Japanese saying, the nail that sticks up gets hammered down. Okay, what I'm asking you all to do, when the time is right, when it's that point in your career, be that nail that'll stand up and build the consensus to do something that will allow your company, your NGO, your government to really deliver breakthrough. And I'm feeling very optimistic that as we collectively do that, we're going to approach sustainable development, make a dent in it, and make history. So thank you very much.